Hey, what is going on, guys? I am back for part 2 of Gen 5 OOU, and my opponent is BKC. I've heard of him, I've seen him on SMOGTOUR, so I know he's a great player. So just keeping that in mind and seeing his team, I can tell immediately he has 4 Pokemon Violas in the sand, and he got Rotom and Salamence alongside with it, so I know it's very threatening. Right off the bat, I know I want to take out his Tyranitar because obviously I want my health to be up for the duration of the match, especially since he has extra drill that could take advantage of the sand and double speed and life orb. It could be very damaging to my entire team, even wipe out my entire team, I'll even argue. So I gotta look out for those two. Anyways, I'm using the same exact team as my last video. This is the same team. My team doesn't look like a great matchup for his team, but nonetheless I'm gonna do my hardest and play my hardest. So let's just click play and see how this goes. So first turn he decides to lead off with his Salamence and his Heatran. I decide to lead off with my Abomasnow and as well as my Hydreigon. First turn here, I know I'm squabbed, so I'm able to go for a Blizzard. I didn't want to play any games, so I just decided to go for Earth Power on his Heatran. I didn't suspect him to switch out, but obviously he's probably more familiar with Gen 5 than I am, so he probably suspected Earth Power. Or maybe perhaps the reason why he switched is because he wanted to get his sand up as soon as possible to negate my hail, as well as lower my accuracy for Blizzard, since I'm not 100% accuracy after he whipped out the sand. So as you'll see here, he actually protects with Salamence, as I do go for the big Blizzard, and after Blizzard damage to his Tyranitar, I go for a power, and that does absolutely nothing. So at this point, I don't know what Tyranitar this is, so I'm suspecting he might be Choice Scarf with Superpower, so I decided to protect with Hydreigon. Decided to switch out my my Abomasnow because I want to save my Abomasnow for the Hell, and I switched into my Gyarados. Gyarados is a better play because I could intimidate both his Salamence and his Tyranitar in case they want to stay in. He switched out of his Salamence into his Heatran, suspecting that I was going to stay in with my Abomasnow, but that ain't happening after the sand. So here it's still a perfect matchup for me because I'm able to go for Waterfall on either one of his guys. Here he goes for Stealth Rock, unfortunately, because I protect, which looking back I shouldn't have, especially now that I'm giving him the free opportunity to go for Vox, and Vox is here to stay for the remaining of the game. Here he actually switched out his Heatran into his Salamence, thinking that I was going to go for a power on his Heatran, but no, I decided to go for Draco Meteor, as you'll see, because I expected him to switch out. Like, there's no reason for him to stay in since he saw that I have Earth Power. He actually brings in his Rotom from his Tyranitar because he don't want his Tyranitar to dive to Waterfall and lose the weather. So here I decided to go for Draco Meteor, as I said. Take out Salamence. So this is really early on, taking out Salamence. That's a really good thing. As I do go for Icy Wind, trying to catch whoever comes in, so I can lower the speed. And I catch his Rotom, which is perfect actually, because as you'll see later on, it really works out for me. Here he goes for Rock Slide, and I actually decided not to switch out because I didn't want to switch in and out with the rocks on the field. So it was better off if I just double team his extra drill as soon as possible and take him out, so that sand would be less threatening to me. So as you see, I just go for, luckily I didn't get flinch, so I go for a Fire Blast at -2 special attack, and with Life Orb still do a lot. So even if I do like half, Gyarados should be able to knock him off with a Waterfall. And the reason why I did this, even though his Rotom could potentially go for Volt Switch to my Gyarados, is because his speed lowered. So that's why it's very important. I noticed that his speed lowered, so my Gyarados, no matter what, will be faster, and so I will be able to knock off X Drill before I die to Volt Switch. But here I decided to go for Hydro Pump on my Hydreigon. Just, I guess he sees Hydreigon as more of a threat, or he expected me to switch out into some other Pokemon and go for a big Hydro Pump. That looks like to be Specs damage, or I don't know, Expert Belt, so that did a lot to me, take me out. As I do bring out Infernape, he does bring out his Heatran. His Heatran obviously is not a good matchup to my Infernape. He goes for Protect here. I wasn't going to attack his Heatran, I was going to go attack his Rotom because I want to get him down to a range where I'm able to go for a safe CC and able to take him out, especially since his speed lowered. I should be able to knock him out with CC after Sand and Fake Out. As I do go for Waterfall on his Heatran, but he protect, like I said. Here I go for CC. It would knock out his Volt time easily, especially with a Life Orb and Stab. As he goes for a Heat Wave, does good damage to my Infernape and Gyarados, as I do knock down his Heatran down to like half with Waterfall. He goes into Ferrothorn, and here he goes for Protect on his Heatran and Protect, I believe, for his Ferrothorn, just to get more sand damage on me, which is good, fair play. Here I go for Overheat, show him Waterfall. Because I know he has Tyranitar in the bag, he probably suspect I go for Overheat, but nope. I decided to go for a Close Combat. I mean, Close Combat was a better move. It will either knock out his Tyranitar even with Chopper Berry, or do a lot to his Ferrothorn. And I was going to die next turn to Life Orb and Sand anyways. So here he goes for Substitute on his Heatran. I decided to go for Waterfall, just to get the sub out. And here his last Pokemon is Ferrothorn, and I'm going to bring in my Thundurus, because my Thundurus does carry Focus Blast, so I should be able to do a lot to both of these mons. Here I'm not going to go for a Focus Blast on his Heatran, even though he thinks I was. He thought I was going to do that. Instead, Ferrothorn is more of a threat, so I decided to attack his Ferrothorn and go for Taunt here, as he actually goes for Protect with Heatran. Now his Ferrothorn can go for Leech Seed, which could be pretty annoying with Sand and Protect. So here this time I'll go for Focus Blast on his Heatran, because I know his Heatran is actually faster than my Gyarados. I don't want him to go for Heat Wave. Here I go for Waterfall on his Ferrothorn. I die to Iron Bars as he goes for a Gyro Ball. It would go down pretty low. But at this point, I just bring him on a Bomb Snow. I know 2 Blizzard could take him out. He can't go for Leech Seed. So perfect opportunity to just go for Blizzard and then Focus Blast. Even if Focus Blast miss, I'm able to knock him out next turn with Blizzard. So that was game 1. GG to you, BKC. Let's move on to game 2. Alright guys, game 2 is here, and he decides to bring in his same exact team. I bring in my same exact team. Just so you guys know, at this point I deleted my other team for some reason. I don't know why. My Victini, my Latias, my Genesect team, and I was actually going to use that team for this match, but I guess I can, because I obviously we were actually battling and the timer was on, so I'll have to go back, and my computer was slow, so I had to go back to get the Samba team. So I didn't want to do that, and since this team did pretty well in the first match, I might as well go with this team once again. So I'm going to hit play. You already know both our teams. So he actually decided to lead off with Tyranitar and Salamence this turn instead of Heatran. As I go from Infernape and Gyarados, we all get intimidated. As I do go for Fake Out here on his Salamence, just so I can freely go for Icy Wind to lower his incoming Pokemon, or his Tyranitar if he wants to go for that. And now his Salamence is slower. And now here I decide to bring in the Hail and go for Protect in case he wants to go for a big Draco on my Gyarados, which he does. Here he makes a great prediction. He actually predicted that I was going to go for a Bomb Snow, so now he wins the Weather War. So right now it's looking pretty bad. He's able to take me out with Hidden Power Fire. Here I bring in my Hydreigon. I see bring in his Tyranitar. He goes to attack as I go for big Draco. Here I go for Icy Wind. Try to catch his incoming Pokemon and slow down his next Pokemon as well. Here he switched out his Road Time to go into Heatran as I go for Earth Power. At this point I just want to double team his Tyranitar, because like I said, I want the weather out. Well, it doesn't really matter. I just want the Tyranitar out at this point. Here he goes into Road Time as I actually take the bait and go for Earth Power on his switch. Go for Waterfall, trying to take out his Tyranitar. Doesn't work out that way. I didn't want to go for Rocks, that's why. Here he actually double switched both his mines to Heatran and Ferrothorn. I actually took the bait and go for Draco, and that does half to his Heatran. I also take the bait of bringing in his Ferrothorn, so now he's able to get off Iron Barb damage on me. Here he actually switches out back into his Tyranitar as I go for Earth Power, because even with -2 Draco Meteor with Earth Power and Life Orb, I should be able to knock him out since he's 4th time. Here I go for Taunt on his Ferrothorn, think he's going to stay in, but he's switching to Tyranitar, which is fine with me because now he can't go for Stealth Rock if he wanted to. Here he goes to Extra. This is a big threat, especially the tag team with Tyranitar. I'm not sure why I went for tag here, because I'm just losing to Sand here. As I guess I just try and pivot to see if he's gonna go for rock slide or earthquake or whatever. But I actually don't agree with that play that I did with protect. Looking back, anyways, I switch into Metagross, expecting to go for rock slide once again, as I actually bring in my Infernape and Metagross. Here, he goes into Salamence, lower my Infernape's attack, go for rock slide, miss on my Infernape, not that matters much. Here, I decide to go for fake out. I think I go for fake out on his Excadrill, and I go for Bullet Punch, I think, on his Voltron, which was not a smart play, because I wouldn't have died to anything that Salamence would have done. So at this point, I should have went for either Zen Headbutt or Meteor Mash. But no matter, I switch out into Gyarados just to lower his Excadrill if he decides to go for Earthquake. Decides to protect here, just to see if he's going to go for the Earthquake. He does. As Rotom goes for a Thunderbolt on my Metagross. The reason why I went for Gyarados, even though his Rotom was on the field, is because I didn't think he's going to go for Thunderbolt on my Infernape. Here I protect, expecting to go for Thunderbolt on my Gyarados, as he actually goes for EQ on my Metagross. But as you see here, I actually lived that and go for a Zen Headbutt on his Rotom with Life Orb. It was knock him out, so now Gyarados is free to just stay in and not be fearful of the Thunderbolt. Here, what does he do? He actually switches into Salamence just to lower my Gyarados even more. Here he goes for attack, thinking I might go for a Bullet Punch, which I do fall for. As his Excadrill goes for Iron Head, hoping for some flinches. Because of Intimidate, I'm not nearly enough to take him out. Now he lives with 7 HP. Here with Sand, I think I just go for Bullet Punch once again. I should have went for Bullet Punch on his Excadrill looking back, but now Bullet Punch with Life Orb and Barb damage not looking too good for me. Here, what does he do? He goes for Rock Slide. It would take out my Metagross at this range, and I'll be able to protect with Gyarados. Here, I think I bring in my Infernape just to go fake out on his Excadrill. There's no point for him to switch out, as I do take out his Excadrill. And I go for Taunt on his Ferrothorn. And he goes for Gyro Ball on my Infernape. That's a great play because Infernape was pretty much his Ferrothorn check. And so he's able to weather me down so low where Sand could take me out, or Life Orb, my own Life Orb could take me out. I decide to switch out and save my Infernape to go into Hydreigon, as he actually switches out and goes for Salamence. Here he goes for Tech, knowing that I'm going to go for Waterfall on his Tyranitar. And he's able to get more sand damage off on me. I live 1 HP, thankfully. He actually switches out into his Ferrothorn. I should have predicted and go for Taunt on his Ferrothorn, as he does go for a big Draco on my Hydreigon with his Salamence. As you see, I just go for the obvious Waterfall and I'm ready to take myself out. Now, I'm opening in my Thundurus. At this point, the only way I could win is go for Thundurus, go for Thunderbolt on his Salamence, go for Fire Blast on his Ferrothorn, and I should be able to win from this point on, which I was pretty surprised because he won the war. But as you see, he just double attacks, so now it takes more sand damage on Hydreigon. Here, I made a big mistake. I go for another Fire Blast when it's very, very obvious he's going to go into his Tyranitar. I guess I was hoping that since he's a great player, I would actually stay in with Ferrothorn, but he actually goes into Tyranitar, and I lose Chip from Sand and Life Orb, and now basically he was able to go for, he's able to have his Thunder Tyranitar stay in, and obviously because he has a double protect with his Salamence, that also plays a role as well, as I do go for a CC on his Tyranitar, able to take him out, knock myself out. We both have full life, Ferrothorn versus Thundurus. I can't win here, especially since I don't have Taunt. So I go for a Focus Blast here, and that gives him an opportunity to go for Leech Seed. And from this point on, he could just protect and Leech Seed. So I'm just going to fast forward this. And as you'll see, Sand and Leech Seed takes me out. So he said GG, and I was like, damn. So that will move on to game 3. So there will be a game 3 here, unfortunately. This would determine whether I would advance or I would not. So let me just reset this because I didn't do that. So looking at his team, he's bringing the same exact team. I'm bringing the same exact team as well. You already know the procedure here. So here he brings out his Salamence. I bring out my Tyranitar. He brings out Tyranitar. I mean, I go into Infernape. I go into Thundurus. Here I'm not playing any games. I really want to take out his Tyranitar. For some reason he didn't protect here. He just thought that maybe I'll go for a Salamence. So I go for CC and Focus Plus after Chopper Berry. It was knock him out. So this is looking pretty good for me because first turn he already lost his Tyranitar. Now he's bringing his SC Drill because he want to utilize the sand and the speed as much as possible while the sand's still here. As I do go for Gyarados, he probably expecting that I was going to go for my Abomasnow like I learned from last game where he went for Hidden Power Fire on my switch into Abomasnow. I wasn't going to make the same mistake again, so I go for Gyarados because it will intimidate both his Salamence and his Extra Drill, which are physical. And as you see here, he goes for Rock Slide, miss on my Gyarados. So yeah, I'm sorry for that. As he does go for Fire Blast, expecting me to switch out into my Abomasnow. Here, I actually switch into my Abomasnow with Thundurus as I should be safe here. As he goes for Draco Meteor and does a lot to my Abomasnow. Not nearly enough to take me out. I go for Icy Wind just to make his Salamence slower and his Ferrothorn slower, or his Extra Drill slower. But he's switching to his Ferrothorn. Here he's switching to his Rotom as I double switch out into my Hydreigon. I go for a Blizzard just to do some damage as he goes for Power Whip on my Gyarados, but I switch into my Hydreigon. Here I think I go for Draco on his Rotom as he switches out into his Extra Drill. Thinking I was going to go for Fire Blast, but Fire Blast would have worked as well. As Blizzard does a lot to his Extra Drill, and I'm able to knock out his Rotom, which is great. Here he brings out his Heatran, and I'm going to switch out into Gyarados. I could have stayed in gone for Earth Power, to be honest. I don't know what I was thinking, but Blizzard actually knocked out his Extra Drill, and he goes for his Heat Wave, does a lot to my Abomasnow and Gyarados. Here I bring out what do I bring out? I bring out my Hydreigon here. At this point, I go for Protect because I'm expecting to go for Draco. And here I go for Icy Wind because I know that if I Icy Wind his Salamence will be slowed in my Hydreigon next turn. So this is perfect, but obviously his Heatran goes for Substitute, which is a great play. I go for that big Draco on his Salamence just to take him out, but unfortunately I missed, and he's able to go for Heat Wave. Followed by his Draco Meteor to my Gyarados. He figured my Gyarados is more threatening, and he's able to take my Gyarados out. So that's pretty bad. Here I go into who do I go into? I go into Thundurus here because Thundurus could obviously take out his Salamence, but he just switches out into Ferrothorn thinking that I was going to target his Salamence, but nope. I was going to take out Substitute with Thundurus and then follow with a Power on my Hydreigon. Able to knock him out, and now he's left with Ferrothorn and his Salamence. Obviously, his Ferrothorn cannot do anything since my Hydreigon could just go for Fire Blast, and my Thundurus could go for Hidden Power Ice on his Salamence. So at this point, he's like GG. So yeah, the third game, I won. So I was able to advance to Game 3. Guys, thank you so much for watching till the end. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this match. Let me know if you like to see more of this. I know one of my subscribers said that he likes to see this match, so hopefully the majority agrees. But anyways, like, subscribe, share this video. I'll see you in my next video for part 3. Thanks for watching. Peace.